Hi everyone, this is Kim. I've been talking about feminine leadership, women stuck in masculine energy, and you might wonder what's the big deal? I live in masculine energy, I live in feminine energy, what is the big deal? So, I'm going to walk you through today with what really is the big deal if you are a woman, female body, but you're functioning in the masculine overdrive. So let's approach this with 5 different segments. The first one is what happens to your health. Now, when a woman is in masculine energy, the biggest driving force is 2 main chakras. First is the root chakra, which pushes you into survival mode to create more security and stability. Notice I've said security and stability versus security and safety. And I'll come back to that at a later point. So because security and stability is the driving force of the root chakra, which is the base and the first chakra, it completely feeds into the solar plexus, which is the drive energy, which is the go, 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 go energy. Now, between these 2 chakras is the sacral energy, which is where your womb wisdom is sitting. But because the root chakra is on an overdrive and the solar plexus is on an overdrive, that person, that woman is always in survival mode. How do you recognize if that is you? Easy things. Look at the way you walk. There's always a race. There's always this gait that is, you're running for a war. Your stepping, your cadence, the way you walk is heavy footing, tum, 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 almost like thumping when you walk somewhere. It's not urgency. It's just that masculine energy within you is a trajectory energy. Feminine energy within us is a wave energy. So when a woman is in masculine energy and you start looking at the first aspect, which is her health, there's always the survival mode, the trajectory mode that keeps her on a very high cortisol. What is cortisol? Cortisol is it is the hormone that comes out when you need it in high stress environments. But in this case, because you are led by survival mode and then that is feeding into drive mode, there is a constant cortisol that is being driven into your body. What does this do from the health aspects? Women in masculine energy have a hard time relaxing. Their idea of relaxing is actually being exhausted. They cannot sit in one place and not pick up something to do because the energy is already on this entire go, 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 go trajectory energy. So relaxing is not comfortable. Forget about relaxing for yourself. You can't see other people around you relaxing. It completely revs you up. Women that are constantly in a go-go energy and you can't relax, take a moment. What does it do to your hormones? We have far more hormones in the masculine, the male body. It creates far more pain. Now, you might think, yes, I have this energy. I have this physical energy. I can go, I can do this, and I can do 10 things. But then burnout keeps knocking at your door. Your weekends are more of recovery from things that you did throughout the week versus actually sitting back and using that energy to elevate yourself. A woman who is in masculine energy over a long period of time, it starts affecting your hormonal health in the sacral chakra. What is sacral chakra? Womb energy. What is sitting in womb energy? Ovarian health. Whether it is painful menstruation cycle, whether it is delayed, whether it is early perimenopause, all of that sitting over there gets highly impacted because there's this constant push, chase. A woman who is in masculine energy, remember, because you don't know better how to rest, when you decide to rest, your body is like, not going to happen. We don't have that habit. We don't have the familiarity. So it makes you feel guilty. Okay? Moving to the second aspect of what happens to a woman in masculine energy, money and career. Now, this is very interesting. A woman in masculine energy over a period of time, you'll be really successful. On paper, climbed up the ladder, big trips around the world, maybe very many awards. However, repetitive cycles. What are the repetitive cycles? I gave. I worked hard. I supported my team. I did this and I did that. And at the end of that road, there is still some sort of disappointment. And guess why? Because as a pattern, a woman in masculine energy has learned as a pattern to abandon herself. She has learned that the only way to achieve, to win, is to keep giving, is to keep sacrificing your family time because it's required for the work, your break time. There are so many women, I've heard stories of, they think it's being a strong woman where they're like, I'm going to go on maternity leave probably on the last day. And maybe that's right for them. But if you sit back, in hindsight, they were like, no, I was pushing because I was scared that if I took that break, I will not be considered for a promotion, or I'm going to lose my designation when I come back. And just think about that. That is how we've conditioned our mind, that if I don't show up in the number of days, when I'm carrying a child that is about to pop in a few days or a few weeks, then I'm just not good enough. Probably nobody's even said that. It's just you in your head, right? Because we've not known better. We've not had role models. So coming back, what does a woman in masculine energy in her career look like? Definitely successful on paper. Travel, money, awards, recognition, but softly dying inside. Softly feeling the dissonance inside that I'm exhausted. Every pattern of a job or a business started has the same cycle, that I go full energy in, then I drain myself, then I feel completely burned out, then I quit, then I rest, and then again I start in the same cycle because you thought that rest was the recovery, but you've really not looked at your patterns. A woman in masculine energy in her career, you'll see the same patterns. And the end of that pattern is always you've abandoned yourself. Nothing that you sit in for a long term in terms of fulfillment, in terms of who I am beyond my job, beyond my business, beyond the people that I care for, because that part of you has not been constructed. Let's look at what happens a woman in masculine energy with her money. Because there's money, because there's sacrifice in the career, we tend to compensate every relationship with money. I'm exhausted. Let's take a trip. Let's go to Bali. Let's go to Europe. Let's go somewhere. I'm exhausted. Let's go for a staycay. I earned this position. I work so hard for a project. Let's go shopping. Let's get a new Birkin. So there's always compensatory pleasure or compensatory actions to relationships, to others, or relationship to self. Because what you're really chasing is that emotion of fulfillment, which does not necessarily come. A woman in masculine energy makes money decisions heavily. Take a moment here with budgeting, because that's the masculine mind. The biggest part of a woman in a masculine energy is her mind. Now, is that good? Of course it's good, but to what extent? It cannot be all of you 80% only functioning from the mind and not dropping into your body wisdom, your womb wisdom, your discernment energy. So every decision goes on budgeting. And sometimes that budgeting decision is not saying that you don't have to budget, but is saying that I get joy from gifting others. I get joy from a little short travel. I get joy from here. I get joy from here. So it's like small doses of emotions that you're buying versus saying, I'm just going to pause all of this, meet myself, and then start on a completely different lane altogether. A woman in a masculine energy, when it comes to money, always abandons herself in terms of what will really bring lasting change, but always chooses herself in urgency. The money you end up paying more than often is an urgency fee. Something's gotten really bad, so like, yeah, I can buy myself out of the problem. I'm totally exhausted. I can buy myself a trip around wherever. You've ignored your skin, you've ignored your health. Great, I can go in and do, I don't know, IV, this, that, everything. There is no structure to long term health choices, no structure to long term financial choices, no structure to long term relationship patterns. Moving to the next. A woman in her masculine energy. What happens to her relationships? Now, this one is a little bit not so nice, but been there, done that, have 100 clients, been there, done that, is every relationship is highly transactional. Highly transactional because people have a habit of needing you. And because there's no time, because again, you're just doing everything to get small doses of joy and happiness and importance and validation, which you don't probably realize. You're like, just that's my life. I don't know better. The relationships are transactional because you bring the compensation, you bring the gifts, you bring the time, you bring the plans, because you haven't met yourself. So you keep meeting yourself through other people. So let's break that down. Sometimes relationships with, say, for example, children is fully compensatory, constantly going out, buying things, but in the moment, you're probably taking your kids out to an event or a class, but they're screaming and yelling in the car because you're exhausted. Relationship with a potential partner or a partner is very transactional. I'll do this, you do that, and we meet at home or whatever. Or if it's an unmarried partner, then again, the relationship is highly competitive. What did you do? What did I do? Or in the one-off cases, this is very often with the single masculine women, is you buy off the problems of the person you love. That if you have problems, let's fix all your problems so that you can show up for me. And guess what? That doesn't happen. Very often, women in masculine energy over time will be with men that do not have leadership. They might have the capacity for it. You might see potential in it, but they innately lack leadership because they're drawn to your leadership and your fixing ability. So that is just energetic facts. There's nothing, to deny or agree over there, because if you are a fixer, if you are the leader, if you're the one always making plans, very rarely will you pull someone in that has that ability. And if you do, and you keep doing that, there can't be two masculines in a relationship. Somebody's going to sit back. Somebody's going to step back, and then you wonder why the man lacks leadership. Women in masculine energy over a period of time, how do your friendships look like? Transactional. Either the same people that it's a place where there's no resting, there's only going, there's only let's go, the loud energy, trajectory energy. Remember, masculine energy is straight trajectory. Feminine energy is waved, like a wave, not waved, like a wave. So the friendships are, again, the drive, the community is about what keeps me going, what keeps me, again, disconnected from yourself. Calm feels so unfamiliar that everything becomes the same vicious cycle. Do more, buy more, spend more, be more, instead of meet myself more. Finally, and most importantly, what happens to a woman who is in masculine energy for a long time with your relationship with yourself? Okay? This is the hardest one to accept, that there is no relationship with yourself. The relationship with self is very small, is very diminished, is very based off a tug of war between I gave so much, but I didn't get anything, so now I'm pulling back. There's a catapult energy. There's a lot of time women in masculine energy are the ones that feel very used, but maybe nobody used you. It was just your pattern to overgive, to feel an emotion of being welcomed, of being loved, of being wanted and needed, right? A woman in masculine energy, your connection to self is very unfamiliar because you just don't know who is myself beyond the relationships or the roles that I carry. So if you watched all the videos of why is it important for a woman, a female, to function in feminine energy, it's because over a period of time, everything starts falling apart. And you might be the most useful person in every room. Don't confuse that. Your life will not fall apart. You'll be useful to people around you because you're the fixer, because you're the one that brings joy to their table. But if you're honest with yourself, you feel empty inside. So if you're bringing solutions to other people's table, other people's life, but it is you feel empty inside, then that's what it means. You can bring joy to people's life, you can bring peace to people's life, but if it's coming from the excess that you have inside, then yes, you are in your grounded feminine energy. Keep watching some videos and drop a comment if you have any questions.